all religions talks about loving kindness, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. Nobody argues that these are bad. Among scientists, wonderful human being, wonderful brain, very open-minded, but as a person, not necessarily religious-minded. We must find ways and means of promotion of these ethics or these values to non-believer.
I want to talk about agents of change.
That's the work that really exposed the roots of ethical resistance.
Essentially find your mind wandering.
Move from your ordinary psychological awareness into that level of our being.
We are at a unique time in history, a point in time where we have to start reconsidering how we relate as human beings to each other and to our planet.
I think the crossroads is not some big metaphor. I think it's a fact of life.
Our decisions are the biggest ones we'll ever face as humanity because of the scale on which we're making them. Our abilities to alter our environment are unprecedented.
We are not alone. We cannot exist alone. We're all interdependent.
We are in a world where global warming is a reality, where environmental degradation is a reality. Why has it come this far? Because we did not care.
The unintended consequences of thoughtless actions are profoundly destructive. We just don't see what sometimes down the road the implications are of what we do. And so we have to be intentional, and we have to be careful.
Now, forced by years of war, forced by financial crisis, forced by natural calamities, we are brought to this juncture.
In modern society, there are so many decisions we have to make, and unless we have some grounding, I think it's very easy to drift away from the basics of what makes us human.
We spend so much money in higher education, but how many courses does one take in character building?
Well, I'm very supportive of this project of introducing a dimension of ethics into the rather scientific community here at MIT.
There are certain important commonalities between contemplative traditions and science. Both have at the core a certain kind of radical honesty.
Science is grounded in truth. You can't do science without it.
The Center for Ethics, by providing a venue for training in ethics, that we can unify the training under one roof for across all of the departments at MIT, I look at that as being a very important thing.
Passing through our world are young adults who will be sitting down at the tables of power and influence in the 21st century. So how do you help educate young adults to ask the right questions about what it is they're going to do with the talents that they have and how they're going to use those skills and talents?
Well, I think that the classical higher values of the transformative values, integrity, compassion, fairness, and that as a teacher, I would want to instill these as action principles in students from the earliest years on through.
Ethics is something that allows us, without wasting much time, because life is short, to give our sense of life a good direction.
To be intentional enough to ask the hard questions, the why questions. Why would I do that? What would be the outcome? What might be the implications of it?
So we're accountable not only to God, but to ourselves and to each other, because we're in the human adventure together.
It is not about inducting people into values of a particular community or values of a particular group. But it has more to do with promotion of certain human values that we recognize is good for humanity. If we recognize collectively that kindness is good for humanity, that compassion is good for humanity, why don't we take responsibility to cultivate it then at a societal level? So that every decision that we make we have no regrets about that decision.
My work is studying perception.
I'm a psychologist, a science journalist.
Civil and environmental engineering.
I live in a monastery in Snowmass, Colorado.
I'm a professor in the biological engineering and chemistry department.
I direct a brain imaging laboratory.
I'm an associate professor of mechanical engineering at MIT.
I'm chaplain to the Institute.
I'm a Buddhist monk at MIT.
Ecosystem ecologist.
Alumni of MIT.
These real quality, honesty, truthful, and calm mind related with compassion. Compassionate mind automatically, you see, they open our inner world, inner door, and also brings calm mind.